All right, let's take a look at yesterday. Let's take a look at the entire session yesterday, and let's see what we got going on today also. So we had 24 points of potential yesterday, right off the get-go from right around 9:20 before the New York opened up. Let's go over the sell zones and buy zones. So we know we have our trend chart. So this is a 1-1-30 chart with our 25 sim sell algo, meaning we have our buy zone and sell zones to find out where they're going to pull the market back to grab liquidity. We had a buy zone into the close that hit also. So we want to find out where they're trying to pull the market back for continuation to the upside or to the downside. So we had 24 points of potential to the downside yesterday. The market took off yesterday above high value area, never really retraced at all. So let's take a look at what we want to do. So we have our trend. You notice our trend zone. This will keep us on the right side of the market. This is our 30-year back-tested trend zone, being the best zone for overall trend direction. That'll keep our mind right, make sure we're on the right side of the market. So if we are green, we're looking to buy these zones. If we're red, we're looking to sell these zones. So if we're red, we're looking to sell the zones. And if we're green, we're looking to buy the zones. So as we move along, I'll blow it up for you to make sure we're looking at the right, making sure we understand what we're trying to do here. So we don't want to participate in the shallow retracements. We want to at least participate in the deeper retracements where the market likes to pull back. The market pulls back against the trend of the market. So if we are trend filter is red, you can see these parallel lines are red. This is the best zone for us to go with the overall trend. So if trend is red, we're looking to sell. So what we want to do is price needs to get inside of this zone. So here's the lower end of the zone. Here's the upper end of the zone. The upper end of the zone is called market structure. We do not want to break that. So this is the sell zone. You'll want price to at least get at or inside of the sell zone. It's that simple. You get a major heads up on these trades. Now we have a few sell zones and buy zones that we look at, and I'll go over that in a second. But it's pretty simple. If we are in a downtrend, we're looking to sell the retracements that get into these sell zones or these deeper zones. We don't want to participate in the shallow zones like this. We want to wait till price gets inside of at least the 25 sell zone, sim algo 25 sell zone. Then what you want to see is you want to see a reversal candle or what we call a V top. That will confirm that the market is looking to sell off. Once we get that, we are looking for a continuation in that direction. You're looking for a continuation in that move. That was a 24-point potential slide yesterday. So that's a sell zone. You're looking for when you're green or red, you're looking for to get into the sell zone. Now the market took off yesterday. Typically we get around 4 to 8 setups from 9:30 to 4 o'clock at night, Eastern Standard Time. Yesterday we only had 2 because the market took off and never retraced in our buy zones until late in the close. And then it finally gave us the time of day trade that I talk about all the time, where the algos like to kick in. 350, they like to window dress at the close. These automated algorithms like to push it. It finally retraced back into our buy zone. We finally got a retracement into the buy zone. We're green all day. Got inside the buy zone. We got our V bottom. The V bottom or the reversal candle created an opportunity to go long in the market. And that pushed the market to the upside in a matter of not very long, 31 to 41, 10 S&P points. Remember, I'm not looking for small moves out of these zones. We're looking 10, 12-point moves. Sometimes you get extended moves. You get a 24-point slide on this one. We're not looking for small moves outside these zones. So you want to try to position yourself to get in the trade and try to adjust your runner and look for a potential 10 to 12-point move on average on these moves. But sometimes we get these extended moves. This is 24 points potential. That was over 10-point potential at the close. So that's what happened yesterday in the market. Now, this is what's called a 25 sell zone. That's what we run in the room. This is a 1-130 chart. 1-130 chart sell zone. We do have longer zones that once you're outside of HV and LVA, we do have longer trend zones that you can look for deeper pullbacks. And I'll go over those. So we had one yesterday that was just a real massive move to the upside. So this is the entire trading session on the NYMEX. So what the NYMEX is, I say put up the NYMEX. What that means is that we run a 24/7 chart under the trading hours. We run a 24/7 chart. I like putting up the NYMEX Metals RTH6 where it runs from 8:30, starts ticking at 8:25 to 1:30 in the afternoon, Eastern Standard Time, because I get these fresh liquidity grab demand and supply zones. And it's real nice because you get the 100 deep zone, you get the 200 deep zone. Anytime I'm outside of HVA, I put the 35 zone. These are the 35 zones on here. So this indicator base, I just go into the indicator. It's very simple. I have a 200, which is my deepest zone. I got a 100 sim algo. That's what it hit yesterday for a big rally. I only look at the 35 zone when the market's above or below high value area. Anytime it's above or below high value area, I am glued to this 35 on the NYMEX and also the 24/7 chart. I showed you yesterday, I sent out multiple charts the last 2 weeks on this. We've had multiple trades. We had a 45-point mover off of this potential, over a 25-point mover and a 20-point mover right off this 35 zone when you're above HV and LVA. That's when you're in a blow-off rally, blow-off sell-off. That's when they're climax buying, climax selling, or what's called a parabolic market. The 35 sim algo zone seems to stop the continuation. So I like that. But this was the NYMEX yesterday. This is the entire session from 8:30 to 1:30. It caught the perfect move. It came down into my 100 zone. Remember, you got to get inside the zone. Now, on the larger zones, I use the 1-135. When I put the 35, 100, 200, I always use the 1-135. That's my preference. You can still use the 1-130 or less. You can even use a 1-125, 1-120, but you're going to get more V bottoms or V tops inside the zone. The zones are static. They won't change. They're static, but you will get more V bottom, V top. So you can see the opportunity was here. There's your reversal candle. It got inside the zone, but it never broke market structure. So market structure is the bottom of the zone. Close right on it, never broke market structure. Right there at the bottom of the zone, we got the reversal candle, V bottom, and we had the market just take off right out of my deep liquidity grab. That's how the market caught all the wrongly positioned traders. They brought it down really from 825 into 940. My time of day trade, I talk about this over and over and over and over again. At 940, we see a V bottoms and V tops tend to occur at 940, plus or minus 5 minutes. That's where the algorithms like to drive the market, just like at 350, time of day trade. This is when the markets really like to take off. This happened right at my 940, 939 and 47 seconds. 100 zone deep liquidity grab, and this market took off from 58.77 all the way into 1 o'clock of 31, 50 S&P point move, and it's still rallying up and hasn't even retraced yet into my 35 zone. So it's at 42. So you're talking a really, really big move, and it all started with the smart money going on the deep liquidity grab of the 100 zone and bringing it up. So I really like that a lot. I like that deeper zone. Really works good. This is the NYMEX. Here's a 24/7 chart. So this morning, what I'm looking for, we're looking for a pullback. We're looking for a pullback into my zone for continuation. What I'd like to see us pull back to this 35 zone for continuation. Since we're outside of high value area, the 35 zones tend to work really, really well outside of market profile. So I'd like to see us pull back to that level and get rolling to the upside. Now, you don't need to take these zones against trend at all. You get so many of them. You can just go with the overall trend of the overall market. If the trend is up, we've been trending up. You can see what they're doing. We've been trending up since 10:30 yesterday. The smart money's been buying liquidity all the way up, taking the counter trend traders out of the market. So that's what we want to do.